Hey folks, I'm back. Did you miss me? We did a video, about a month ago now, stating that I was coming back, and I hadn't done a video since. But today I am doing one. Uh, and as a lot of you know, we are currently part time eBay resellers. We are also doing some delivery on the side. So half eBay, half delivery. Actually, delivery's the bigger portion right now. We want to get back into full-time eBay, but right now we're part-time eBay sellers, and I thought I'd show you guys some things that part-time eBay sellers can find and sell. Most of this stuff is sourced recently. We take 1 or 2 days a week to go out and source, and then the rest we're out delivering. And obviously, we take a little bit of time to list on eBay too. So this is what a part-time eBay reseller may or may not be able to find in their area. So the very first one here, now this is more of a retail arbitrage type thing. This is called O-Pill. It's a daily oral contraceptive. The last order I sold of these was actually today, as of the recording of this video today. And they bought 3 of them. So at $13.99 each, if they buy 3, they get them for $11.89. I have $1.49 into these. They weigh nothing. Very lightweight. We got them at a Rite Aid that was closing down. Our local Rite Aid, in fact. I got them on the very last day they were opening, and I've sold 28 of these things, and I still have 15 left. They're not super, super fast sellers, but I do get repeat buyers on these, so that's not too bad. Let's go to the next item. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so if you see me looking around, my microphone is in the way, and I can't see the other screen. Okay, so what was this one? Okay, this one is a TI-83. Not a TI-83 Plus, not a TI-84. This one's a TI-83. I believe I got this one out of the Goodwill bins. It did need some work. The battery compartment is corroded. I actually ended up having to take this apart and cleaning it out from the inside. And once I did that, it worked great. And I did it, obviously, test it again before it was shipped, which was today. I shipped today, and it worked. So very good little sale there because, I'll probably get 50 cents to $1 in it, if that, not even that. I should have, it's been a while since I've done these videos, so I don't have everything set up the way it should be, so forgive me for that, but it's okay. This is a realistic stereo electret was actually the name, condenser microphone. Just a little old vintage microphone. $11.99, free shipping. It weighs nothing, very lightweight. Got this one also out of the Goodwill bins, I believe. So didn't pay anything for it. Baseball cards. I got a ton of baseball cards. This one, Frank Thomas Big Hurt. It's the nickname cards from 93 Triple Play. It's the only good cards out of that set. Triple Play was notorious for being a low-end set, but they did have this subset inside, and this is a good one. Now, it's not great. I had $1.99 is what it sold for, but I have nothing into these cards. I bought a whole big lot of cards, and anything $2 and up I've put on eBay. I got to get back into it. I haven't done it in a while. Anything $2 and up goes on eBay because it doesn't make sense for me anyway to list anything under that. And use eBay standard envelope. Now, I haven't had any cards over $20, so I don't have to worry about, shipping. Everything fits in the eBay standard envelope, and that's the way it goes, and it works really well for me. This one is capsaicin. We got these at a discount grocery just recently. I bought 5 of them at $3 a piece. One person bought them all. Every single one of them. It was like a $50-some sale, I believe. I didn't even have, the volume pricing turned on this one, where you buy more than one, you get a little discount. So they bought all 5 of them, and it was a nice little sale. I had approximately $15 into them, and, actually, I think I had more. I haven't done one of these videos in a long time, and usually the screen that I'm showing has what it sold for, but it's okay. I could probably find that, but I'm not going to. But it was, what is it? 15 times 3, 15 times 5 is the price that they sold for. We're going to add that up real quick. 15 times 5. I should have known this. $75. Okay. So, for a $15 or so investment, I got $75 out of them. That's not a bad return on investment. It was the only thing I bought from the discount salvage stores that we went to that day, because the rest of the stuff just wasn't worth selling. But these were still in date. A lot of times things in those kind of stores are not, and I knew these were a good deal because I've sold them before. Under Fire. This has Gene Hackman in it. Of course, we all know that Gene recently passed away under some interesting circumstances. And I have a whole ton of these movies, and I thought, well, these are going to sell pretty good for me. Well, no, they haven't. You can see I sold it only for $2.95, but they also do pay shipping on this one. These are DVDs I've had for a very, very long time. I'm trying to move them. I don't really make any money on them, but combined with a little bit extra shipping, they usually make a buck maybe. I have $1 into them, so a couple of years ago, DVDs were really hot, and we were buying them from Dollar Trees. And this is one that I just still have. I have a bunch of them. I have 23 available, and only 2 have sold. So, yeah. You would have thought more would have sold with, a lot of times when somebody passes, people are looking for their stuff, but not in this case. Maybe this is one of those movies that wasn't that popular. I don't know. I'm not a movie guy. Here we go. This was a nice little sale. I paid $7 for this guy at a Salvation Army. Tested it. Worked good. Came with the cables. This is for a VGA system, so you'd hook it up to maybe your computer, your older computer that has VGA outputs, and it reflects it on the wall. So it's just a projector. And we paid $7, and I didn't have the remote. With the remote, it would have been a little bit more. And the newer model version of this thing goes for a lot more. So if you ever find the newer version, I think it's the 1760 or something like that. PowerLite 1760 goes for a lot more money. But this one was pretty good, $7 into 50. It wasn't as heavy as it looks. And as you can tell, this was taken on my kitchen table. The lighting is better out there, and I'm okay with, on eBay anyway, having not as great pictures as as Amazon. I want people to know they're buying from a regular person. So I'm just taking my pictures on the kitchen table in my dining room, and that's how that goes. And it seems to work for me. There's another one on the table. This was out of the Goodwill bins. This thing is really super lightweight. Pampered Chef cheese grater. It does have replacement barrels you can put in there. Finer. This is the fine barrel that's in there. There's a coarse barrel as well. Of course, I didn't see the coarse barrel in the bins, so I took only the fine barrel and put this together. And it sold $10 plus shipping. I mean, I have 50 cents or less into that thing, so that's not too bad. This is also out of the Goodwill bins. It sold for a little bit better money. It is a ringer amplifier, so people who still have home phones plugged into the wall, maybe older people who can't hear the ringing, you can plug this thing in and it amplifies the ring. I guess that's what it does. But we sold that for $20. Again, this one weighed closer to a pound, and it's $1.89 a pound where we go. So it's probably, we have $1.89 into it. Not too bad. These are replacement game cards from, what game is this? Star Wars Epic Duels. I've actually sold quite a few of these, and I always get good feedback on them. In fact, I got feedback on this one today. It's the whole set of that particular deck. There's several decks in the game, and each one of them has a certain amount of cards. And anyway, all I had for that game was the decks. Most of the pieces were missing. But I know that most Star Wars type things have value, so some Star Wars type things have value, and I looked it up, and it seemed like the parts for this game were doing well, so I parted the game out, and this is probably the 4th deck I've sold out of there. $9.99 free shipping. They weigh nothing, so they fit in a little envelope and padded envelope, and that's that. This is a nice older backgammon set. You can see it, not perfect. This thing wasn't perfect, but it was complete. I do not remember. This one's been around a long time. Usually don't find them with the rules, but these types of backgammon sets sometimes can do really well. The little suitcase ones. I try to picture everything really well. This has been around longer than me taking pictures out on the kitchen table because this is in the office here. But anyway, this one sold for $39.99. I'm sure that I have under $5 in it, even maybe less than that. So backgammon games do really well. This style. This is a cup, and I realize the word copper is in the title. So I don't know where that came from. It shouldn't have been copper. It should have been gray. Anyway, the person who bought it was really happy with it. I never thought that a used cup would sell very well. But this particular brand, ELLO, I guess, apparently does. And whoever bought it, they've left good feedback already. So it wasn't a very big tumbler. It was all right. An all right size, not big enough for me, but very heavy. I say heavy. It was under a pound, but it felt heavy in the hand. And it's a ceramic. So that's pretty cool. I've never seen one. And this one came out of a Salvation Army. I think I have $1.99 into it. So not too bad. This is a power supply from a computer. Windows 98 computer to be exact. One of the older style ATI power supplies. I believe that's what they're called. ATI? I don't know. Sparkle Power FSP 3000-60BT. It's a 300 watt supply. People buy these for various reasons, sometimes redoing their old computers, and some you can make these into power supplies for other things, and people still buy them for that. This one took a while to sell. As you can see, I've had two of them and I sold them both. Maybe a month to sell. A lot of I was given 11 vintage computers, all business computers with Windows 98, Windows 95, and Windows XP on them. They were all the same style of computer, but they had upgraded got up to XP on one of them, I think. There was one Windows 3.1 computer in there that I haven't tried to list yet. I will list that as a whole computer. But anyway, I've parted out the other ones because they were fairly generic. The motherboards sell well. The power supplies sell well. There's not huge money in them, but they do all right. Also saving up all the CPUs. CPU, is that the right word? The Intel chips. Processor chips. That's what I wanted to say. And I'll sell those as a big lot. Most of them are Pentium 4s. And there is a Pentium 2, Pentium 3, but most of them are Pentium 4s. And I'll just sell those as a lot at the end when I get them all parted out. I have parted out 4 or 5 of them, and there was 11. So there's a ways to go. But it's one of those things that you can do, and it's not that hard to do. All you got to do is power on the computer and see if it turns on. And I usually, if there's none of them had hard drives, and I have a bunch of old hard drives around, so I'll stick the hard drives in. If it doesn't have an operating system, I'll put Windows 95, 98, or XP, depending on which computer I'm working on, and make sure everything operates correctly the way it should. I don't have to go that far, but I do. And test the video card out, test I don't test the modems. Those usually aren't worth anything. They're just dial-up modems in them. But a lot of them had a little bit better video card for the day, and I've sold a few of those too. Although they're not, I don't think they're shown on today's video. Bunch of old cassettes I got. These took a little while to sell. As you can see, the cases aren't that great. They're okay. But they're old, and I made sure to say that. And I also said case may have been replaced, because I did notice on a couple of them that it didn't look like the right case. But this is Iron Maiden, 1983. People were advertising this with XDR on it because it says it down here. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it seemed like when they put XDR in the title, it sold for a little bit more. So this one sold for $13.99 plus shipping. And it was a nice little sale. I got a bunch of cassettes at a yard sale when I was down in North Carolina in May, and I just recently listed them because they were easy to list. Did test every single one of them. Didn't listen to the whole cassette, but enough to make sure that it sounded okay. This is Schwarzkopf Blonde Me Bond Enforcing Premium Lighter. These things are heavy. 900 grams. I don't know what all this stuff does. I see it lifts 9 levels dust. It should have said dust-free powder, but whatever. This had calculated shipping on it. It looks like if it would have came to me, it was $11.35. I don't remember where they went, but they sold for full price, $39.99. As you can see, the one was damaged, and I did mention that in the listing, and I even put a piece of tape over that to make sure none of that, it wasn't coming out, but I wanted to make sure none did on the shipping. And it's been about a week and I haven't heard anything, so they must have been happy with it. These were new sealed. If that one hadn't been damaged, I would have asked more money for them, and I could have sold them separately as well if I wanted to, but I figured this damaged one was going to take a while to sell, so I'll throw them together. And these came from a sale that I went to again down in North Carolina when we were down there over Christmas, I believe. And actually, we had to, long story, we won't talk about it, but we had to go back, and it was in January. There was a sale, and I call it the junk sale. This guy has a sale every Sunday, and I stop there every time I'm down there, and he has some good stuff. Storage unit guy. Paid under $1 for this because I got a bunch of stuff, and I paid $10 for everything I got that day. So these were under $1 to buy, which was a good buy. This is one of those counting sheep, and this is part of the reason I now take pictures out in the dining room, because I have trouble with lighting in this room. I've tried. You can see this one's a black background. I've tried all different kinds of backgrounds, but anyway, this is a little counting sheep, number 20. He took a good long time to sell, probably 6 or 8 months, but $12.99, not too bad, right? Most of this stuff is from thrift stores and yard sales and bin stores. So a lot of you guys should be able to find these things when you're out and about. Things, maybe not necessarily the same things, but, similar stuff. This was my own personal item. I used it for a few years. I don't particularly like the way it staples, so I finally decided, well, we're going to sell this on eBay. I'm sure I have $1 into it from a yard sale 6 or 7 years ago, and we sold it for $14.99 plus $4.99 shipping. I don't know if the new owner likes it. I did leave it full of staples for him, though. He hasn't left me any feedback, so I'm hoping that's a good thing. I just did not like the way it operated. Now, that doesn't mean it was a bad stapler. It stapled fine. It just, you had to hit it a little extra hard, and I didn't like that. Maybe that's the idea, because you're hitting Sylvester on the head, but whatever. Little Looney Tunes stapler. We've got these shoes. Now, this one's a good one. Under 2 pounds. Got these at the Goodwill bins. So we were at $1.89 a pound. So we got $3 into these shoes, maybe. Listed them. These were in fantastic condition for Goodwill bins. I noticed nobody was looking at the shoes that day, which is not normal for any of the Goodwill. This was our first time at this particular store, this particular Goodwill bins, and I saw them. AX6 I know is a good brand, so I looked them up, and we sold them for $30 plus shipping. So it was a nice little sale, and they went quick too. Here's an 8-track. Now with 8-tracks, it's important to let them know that whether or not the foam in here is good or not. Now I did say it's old and has never been serviced, although it played fine at the time. So this is the doors, absolutely live. I got a big giant banana box full of 8-track tapes at a little thrift store in North Carolina when we were down there in May. And there wasn't very many in there that were worth a whole lot of money. There were some brand new sealed ones that I've sold, And then there was the doors here, which was a good one, $12.99 plus shipping. And a couple others that I list. Blues Brothers, which isn't a great one. It's not worth a ton of money, but it was cool to have the Blues Brothers actual DVD or actual 8-track from back in the day. So that one's listed still. It hasn't sold yet. But yeah, we've definitely made our money back on these, but I'm not sure I would buy them again. If they were all brand new sealed, I probably would. Only if they were things like the doors. The ones I sold that were brand new sealed were some lesser, I call them lesser, some country stuff. Some of them were rock and roll, but nothing at the level of the doors. But we paid $15 for all of them, and I've sold, we're probably close to $100 in sales now, and we have a couple more to go. So it was worth the buy. I just don't know that I would do it again because the work to get these things, I had to play every single one to make sure they worked, and it was a lot of work. So this is one of those Blue Line DVD or VCRs from Panasonic, Omnivision PV4601. It's a 4-head player. I don't know why, but this thing took forever to sell. I probably had it over a year. Usually when I get these little Panasonic VHS players like this, they sell really quick. But this particular one, and as you can see, it's on the old table in the office here. This particular one just took forever to sell. But it did. And I haven't heard anything back, so it must have been all right. I still like selling these. I've stopped selling a lot of, electronics that are harder to service, like printers. But VCRs I usually have a good time with. I do not, unless I test them in the store, I don't pick up the DVD VCR combos anymore because I've had so many that didn't work. But these little VCRs like this are usually under $5 at yard sales, so I pick them up regardless. But the combos, I will test them in store before I buy them, or I will talk to the people at the yard sale if it's a yard sale item and ask them if it worked. And they always say the same thing: last time we used it, it did. Yard sales, I have better luck with the combos, and I have good luck with these little Panasonic VCRs no matter where I get them. So good little solid buy. Probably got $5 into it, sold it for $50 plus shipping, so not bad. Little old Electrolux brush. This one came out of the Goodwill bins again. $12.49. That Goodwill bins that I got this one at, I think, is $1.49 a pound. This thing weighed 8 ounces maybe once shipped, so we did pretty good on it. This one also had shipping on it. This has real actual horsehair, I think, is what the brush is made out of. But the guy left me good feedback on this one, so that's nice. It's exactly as described. Now, it's not pretty, but doesn't have to be. If it's something that people need or want. I did clean it up as good as I could, but it is what it is, and people still will buy them, even though they're not the best looking thing in the world. These things are old, vintage stuff, so they're going to have some dangs and dents and a little bit of discoloration, but it wasn't horrible. Pictures actually make it look worse than it was, but the guy was happy with it, left me good feedback. Another baseball card. This is one of my favorites. I used to have this one when I was a youngster, not that young, but back in this one was 1994, so I was out of high school by that time. But $6 for this one, free shipping. I really always have liked the Diamond Kings, and this is one of my favorite sets. And Ken Griffey Jr. is a great player. This one took a little while to sell, but again, I have nothing pretty much into these cards. A penny if that. So anytime one sells, it's a great deal. So good sale. And our final one, I'm sure you guys are saying great. Again, another Goodwill bins find. I am surprised that nobody picked it up. People had already been through these bins. If you know what you're looking for and other people don't, what is a 241 XL color Pixma weigh? Nothing, And so it's 6 ounces maybe shipped in a box. So we picked it up, probably got 25 cents into it, being at a Goodwill bin. And I sold it for $19.99. So that was the sales, recent sales. If you're part-time like me, these sales come in handy. I mean, you make $100 to to $200 a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it's always something that is good. You know, it's good to have extra income. Sometimes you need that, and recently we have needed it. Now we're kind of out of that now. Thank God, we're getting better and working on becoming full time again. So, if this inspired you, probably not, or made you think, or you saw something you didn't think was worth something, and you know now, well, I hope it works out for you. I don't even remember how to end these videos. It's been so doggone long, but I think I say something like, if you liked it, hit that like button down below, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. You all have a good day.